Australia, the world's only island continent, surrounded by nearly 60,000 kilometres of pristine coastline. It's home to 4,000 known species of fish, making it the ultimate fishing destination. Any way you look at it, Australia is an angler's paradise. Many species found in our clean, lightly fished waters are found nowhere else on Earth. And even the better known species are more abundant and larger down here. Our southern waters are renowned for giant snapper, powerful kingfish and huge tuna. The cool waters also provide some of the finest fly fishing for wild brown and rainbow trout over anywhere else in the world. Explore the waters beneath the iconic Sydney Harbour Bridge, or try your hand at the almighty Australian marlin in the world's most reliable destination for big black marlin fishing. In our warm tropical waters exists the world's largest living organism, the Great Barrier Reef, a haven for wildlife and heaven for fishing folk. Anglers have been known to catch more than 50 species in 1 week. Discover the extraordinary prizes beneath our western and northern waters with hundreds of species of fish, and tick off reeling in a barramundi from your bucket list. So drop by, cast out a line and make Australia your next fishing adventure.
From freshly shucked oysters in Tasmania to spearfishing for barramundi in Arnhem Land and fly fishing for trout in Western Australia, there's an abundance of fresh, pure and prime quality seafood all across Australia. The harbour city Sydney offers some of the freshest seafood in Australia. Visit the Sydney Fish Market to watch oysters freshly shucked at. And enjoy a fresh seafood platter cooked to order. You can join a fun hands-on cooking class with some of Australia's leading chefs at the Sydney Seafood School. Three-hour drive south of Sydney, celebrity chef Rick Stein has a restaurant at Bannisters by the Sea, which celebrates local seafood. Enjoy a delicious seafood meal at the Waterfront Restaurant. Bateman's Bay sits on the mouth of the River Clyde. Kayak through the pristine waters whilst learning about and eating some of the best and most sustainable oysters in Australia. You can do kayak tours and learn about oyster farming. Why not fish for your own barramundi, Spanish mackerel and longtail tuna? The famous wild barramundi at the Northern Territory comes into season between March and November. Then cook your fresh feast at Barramundi Lodge in Arnhem Land. Explore South Australia's stunning coastline and sample the Eyre Peninsula seafood from Whyalla to Streaky Bay. In Port Lincoln, challenge yourself to eating a 1 kilogram oyster at Port Lincoln Hotel.
For me, Coffin Bay is like a unique system of bays which hold their own treasure and seem to be kind of unique in the fact that kingfish breed in here, snapper come in to breed, there's sea urchins, you know, there's always been a native oyster industry. What do people think of when they think of oysters? Do they think of an aphrodisiac? Yeah, of course they do. Do they think that it's a sexy, sultry type of seafood? Yeah, they think it's sexy and sultry. Does it actually have health benefits though? Yeah, the good thing is it actually does. Everyone can eat an oyster and be happy. There's nothing better when a couple driving through Coffin Bay come to the oyster shed and they sort of have a little bit of a sticky beak and just love oysters. They're actually fascinated about what we're doing. And hopefully I can impart a little bit of knowledge so that when they leave, you know, not only are they leaving with something that's been harvested that day, which is pretty rare, which is one of the special things about coming to Coffin Bay, and also a little bit of an appreciation of what we do. And yeah, oysters and the environment go hand in hand.
In Adelaide, dine at the best seafood restaurant Sammy's on the marina with expansive water view. Tasmania is renowned for Pacific oysters, lobster, abalone and octopus. Luxury Lodge Sapphire Freycinet takes guests to Fresh Oyster Farm to enjoy straight from the sea oysters, while standing in Tasmanian waters sipping champagne.
My father first taught me how to fish. It's become a way of life that I can't get enough of. Every time I tie a fly, every time I make a cast, the river's always got a lesson to be learned. The possibilities for fly fishing on this island are endless. For me personally, my time on the water is all about dry fly fishing. Being able to sight my quarry, present to that fish my own creation, it's second to none. Part of the beauty of fishing in Tasmania is being able to pack the car and get away. I love finding a new stretch of river to explore and camping out under the stars. With the tranquility of these locations, it's not always about catching fish.
At Joseph Cromie Winery near Launceston, you can try your hand at fly fishing in front of the Cellar Door restaurant. Take the seafood seduction boat tour around Bruny Island and enjoy rock lobster, abalone and sea urchin straight from the sea. Don't forget to take a drive-through, get shucked. Yes, you heard that right. Bruny Island has its very own drive-through oyster bar. Near Port Douglas, join Kuku Yalanji Cultural Habitat Tours to catch mud crabs and mussels on a spearfishing trip. Also sample olive tapenade glazed salmon, garlic prawn spaghetti, or pan-seared barramundi at Zinc Restaurant and Lounge Bar. When visiting Melbourne, seafood lovers should book in advance for Ocean to Plate restaurant, The Atlantic. Near Perth, the Lobster Shack in Savants runs tours of its lobster processing facility along with lunches of freshly grilled lobster. Also, visit Geraldton for the best tasting tomatoes and possibly the most valuable single species of seafood in the whole of Australia, the Western Rock Lobster.
Today, every destination around the world tells you they're unique, but what I'm about to do rewrote the definition of the word unique. Tonight, I'll tuck myself into bed under the stars in the peace and tranquility of my swag on the top deck of a pontoon in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. After a big day of exploring the Great Barrier Reef, I didn't think it could get any better. Then the boat cruised off into the distance, and as we waved the other day guests goodbye, I couldn't believe the calm and peacefulness that left us here in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. So it's 3 hours before sunset, and suddenly I've found the energy again because I've finally got the place to myself. You can jump back in the water and snorkel to your heart's content, or lay back on the sun deck with a book and enjoy the serenity. The staff who live on the pontoon, affectionately known as reef rats, go about their daily business of looking after the pontoon. The fish are now really active with splashes of colour and water as they chase each other around, with the odd turtle popping up its head for a breath. I have to pinch myself to remind me that I'm here lapping it up. As the sun sets, my new friends and I share some bubbles and tell stories like you would around the campfire. Don't mind if I do. Cheers!
Cheers!
Before dinner, I've got a real treat, a nighttime scuba dive. And if you think the reef was alive during the day, you should see the magic that is out there at night. Dinner is a delicious gourmet barbecue, all cooked up by the dedicated Reef Sleep host, who's out here just to look after us. After the dessert, there's stargazing on the top deck through the telescope before my tired head hits the pillow in my waterproof swag. Sunrise over the Great Barrier Reef was more spectacular than I could ever have imagined, and breakfast is another hearty meal prepared by our host to give me all the energy I need for the day that lies ahead. The blissful hours of having the reef to ourselves are passed with more snorkeling, swimming and sunbathing before we're waving to the boat as it arrives again. After 2 days, I feel completely rejuvenated and so lucky to have explored this beautiful place in such great detail. These reef rats sure do have a good gig. You can do it too. All the information is on the Cruise Whitsundays website. The Reef Sleep experience includes 2 full days and 1 night accommodation on the Great Barrier Reef, breakfast, 2 lunches, dinner and morning and afternoon teas. Reef Sleep can accommodate guests in swags under the stars, and there's also an air-conditioned king suite if you prefer. The 74 islands of the Whitsundays are world renowned as being a beautiful place to relax on holiday, go sailing, snorkel coral reefs and a home to some of the world's best island resorts. So if you're visiting the Whitsundays, no matter where you're staying, you can island hop and explore just a few of the 74 different islands on offer. Cruise Whitsundays has a large range of comfortable cruising vessels travelling throughout the islands all day. So book an island escapes package or grab an island hopping pass on a timetable and explore for yourself. I'm going to show you what some of the island resorts have to offer. So let's jump on board and see what there is to see. One of the closest islands to the Australian mainland is Daydream Island Resort and Spa. My 30-minute scenic cruise arrives here early in the day, and my cruise package includes a delicious breakfast at Daydream's Waterfalls restaurant. Now I'm ready for the day, and my first stop is Daydream's amazing system of coral reefs that weave their way through the island called the Living Reef. There's a free fish feeding show each day where you can see stingrays, reef sharks and plenty of fish being fed, while the marine biologist tells you all about them. I even found Nemo. There's a dedicated part of the island for day visitors, which has everything you'll need to enjoy the Daydream lifestyle. A large resort pool, boutique shops and a bakery for lunch, also included in my cruise package, and an around the world mini golf course. All of this strenuous activity has caused me to book in to the island's award-winning rejuvenation spa for a good pampering to finish off the day. The Whitsundays' largest island resort is Hamilton Island, and it's actually a small community with 1,000 people living here permanently. Cruise Whitsundays arrives into Hamilton Island's marina, where it's an easy walk to all of the restaurants, cafes and shops off Front Street surrounding the marina. There are so many cruise packages you can choose from to visit Hamilton Island, depending on what type of activities you'd like to do. You can be an adrenaline junkie and go on the jet rider, and then head to Palm Valley for go-karting and the shooting range. You might want to bring the whole family to the island and cuddle native animals at the wildlife park before a spot of bowling at the 9-pin Kegel bowling alley. Bring some mates and have a hit of golf on the only 18-hole championship golf course on its own island in Australia. Or you can freestyle it, hire a buggy and explore the island for yourself. Or have a romantic day with lunch and wine with a view, followed by some beach and pool time and some more view gazing. So no matter where you're staying in the Whitsundays, Cruise Whitsundays can take you to explore everything else around you. Squeeze 3 islands into one day or spend more time exploring and enjoying the island resort facilities. There's a large range of packages available from each resort and from Airlie Beach, some including meals and vouchers for activities, or you can just freestyle it. So contact the Cruise Whitsundays team for personal advice on exploring what you want to see. There's more information on the Cruise Whitsundays website too.
started off with a 45-foot Princess, a lot of fun with that. Then we changed up to a 54, a new 54, which was also a lovely boat. Then we went to a 57, then we went to a 58, then we went to a 21 metre, which is about 69 and 70 feet. Then we bought a nice new Princess 72, that was called R&R for Robin Rose, or relaxation and something else. Anyway, and then we decided we so much fun out there cruising that we really wanted to go up a little bit further, so we went up to the Princess 88, called 7th Heaven. Just over 3 years we've had it. We've done about over 20,000 nautical miles and about 2,000 engine hours, which is a lot of miles and hours for a boat that's so young. But we enjoy, when we come up the East Coast, we just enjoy the cruise. We don't fly in and fly out. We cruise with the boat. We go when the weather's right. We enjoy all the ports of call. We enjoy being out at anchor. We're just having such a lot of fun on this particular boat. It's a beautiful vessel, and we just don't like getting off it.
The Gold Coast is not only one of Australia's favourite holiday destinations, it's also a boating mecca. The Gold Coast Broadwater lies at the southern end of Moreton Bay and is protected from the open ocean by South Stradbroke Island. In the early 1980s, the mouth of the Nerang River was engineered to push further north to what we now know as the Gold Coast Seaway, thus eliminating the old Southport Bar and creating an all-weather passage for both commercial and recreational boaties. Not far from the entrance, it was decided a man-made island would be created to inhibit the amount of ocean swell entering the Broadwater. Imaginatively titled Wavebreak Island, the Northern Lee has become a boatie's haven. Come here most weekends and you'll see boats from 10 to 150 feet moored and enjoying the clear blue waters and endless Broadwater views. Just another reason to love our boats and the beautiful Gold Coast Broadwater.
Lady Musgrave is about the halfway mark on our annual sojourn to Hayman Island. In September, about 15 Princess yachts will make their way north through the Great Barrier Reef, stopping to soak up the sun and azure waters of the Lady Musgrave Lagoon. The island itself is a haven for seabirds and turtles, but the massive lagoon is also a stopover point for boaties, divers and sailors moving from port to port. The Bunker Group of Islands is indeed a special place, and if you can see yourself in this picture, contact Greg and the team at Princess about joining us later this year.
I'd just like to order some on-board food, please, if we may.
Feel like a club sandwich or maybe a seafood platter but don't feel like doing the cooking? Well, it's all at your fingertips with the Admiral Club program at Sanctuary Cove. The concierge service offers everything from onboard meals to laundry pickup and returns, rounds of golf and buggy transfers, all in conjunction with the Intercontinental Resort.
We've developed a QR code app, so basically you get access to the resort's room service menu, you get access to our cellar menu, and you get delivered room service luxury to your vessel. It's great. We've just got it up and running, and it's been in place for about 3 months now, and we're seeing some wonderful traction through the hotel facilities right down to the marina. If you did want to organise any exclusive dining on your boat, we've also got our award-winning chefs and wait staff available to be able to tailor menus directly to your vessel, go out for the day, enjoy some of our world-class seafood that we have on offer in Queensland.
The Intercontinental's chef has whipped us up one of the most requested dishes on the menu. And just like that, it's on its way to the dock.
Oh, this is lovely, and we didn't have to even walk out the boat to get dinner delivered to the door.
You can find out more about the Admiral Program memberships on offer on the Sanctuary Cove website.
You know, this is a product that's really taken the market by storm. Twin Disc in Australia took on the distributorship for Seakeeper. Back in those days, it hadn't globalised, and we were fortunate to get involved at the very ground floor, and It's grown year on year to be a remarkable product. It's taken up the market. It's rapidly becoming the new norm. Greg was one of the very early adopters of the technology. He saw the benefits in it, took the very first of our new generation Seakeeper. Since then he's been a very big advocate of it, and we've had a very strong relationship. Princess have done a great thing by designing in foundations for Seakeepers, and that makes it easy to either choose it at factory level or tick a box and have it added through construction. A lot of times people think, oh, okay, is it really working? And then they turn it off and they panic, turn that thing back on. And it's so enjoyable to be out here at one of your rendezvous and see all the owners enjoying the day. And you know, there's a few Seakeeper owners out there. Jan and Mike on a boat here, they've got a Seakeeper 6. They've even nicknamed it Jerry the Gyros. It's part of the family on that boat. It's a great way to enjoy the day with the owners of Princess, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy the lunch on Seakeeper today.
It is a lifestyle choice. To stand apart and to be unique. The rose gold can remind you of your favourite piece of jewellery. Endless personalisation possibilities. The exquisite touches and craftsmanship.
Sydney Fox Expeditions started cage diving and filming great white sharks back in the 1960s, and I've been coming out since late 70s and right throughout the last 37 years, hardly missing a trip. Neptune Islands are south of Port Lincoln and the last stop before you get to Antarctica. It's a really important place for fur seal breeding and sea lions and great white sharks. It has South Australia's largest sea lion and fur seal colony in particular. The great white sharks migrate there every year and use that as a stop-off point to fill up. And we see the same sharks year after year arriving there. Cage diving was invented back in the mid-60s, about 1 year after my dad Rodney was attacked by a great white shark, and he wanted to overcome his fears, and he invited Ron Taylor out to film the first ever footage of great white sharks under the water. We hang our hat on catering for divers that want to go all the way to the ocean floor, up to 20 to 30 meters down. And down there the sharks are more at home, they become more intimate and a lot closer. But it's a very controlled, safe, great way to view great white sharks. I love to see each shark turn up and see if I can recognize that shark, and I've usually got names for all of those sharks. And that's a basis for all of the other research that happens here. If we can get good shots of all of the specific markers on each shark, we can go back into our database regularly and look for patterns of revisitation, and we know the history of that shark in the area. We like to get the shark's attention by putting burley or chum into the water, but there's a big responsibility not to overdo that or to deliberately feed the sharks. So we limit the amount of opportunities that the sharks get to feed. The sharks here tend to do a lot of their predation under the water, but occasionally there are some individuals that are specialists and they can jump right up high as any other shark from South Africa. We also like to look at the impact that we have as operators directly at the Neptune Islands themselves, and look at the relationships between individuals and the environmental factors that change that diversity and the abundance of the different populations that are there. I can't wait to get back out there and work with photographers and filmmakers, researchers. We get a lot of tourists that sponsor the whole platform to do the other creative, productive work.
Started Calypso Star back in 2002. So yeah, coming up 14 years now I've been doing this. Started out as the crew on board. And, yeah, gradually worked my way up. Driving for just on 10 years and bought into the business back in 2006. Once we anchor up, we'll get a bait in the water and begin our burley trail. So yeah, plenty of fish around. I mean, there's a marine park out there, so there's heaps of trevally, heaps of nice yellowtail kingfish, and hopefully before too long there'll be heaps of sharks. Essentially the cage floats to the surface, the top foot of the cage sticks above the water, and then divers enter through the roof of the cage. There's a couple of ladders to climb down. So yeah, you wear a wetsuit, water temp at the moment is about 17, and so a wetsuit and a hood, pair of boots, and then we pop a weight belt on your shoulders so that, you know, to make you sink basically. To have a job that people jump on your boat happy and they jump off your boat even happier.
Australia. Whoever came up with this place deserves a real pat on the back. I mean, think about it. There are birds who can laugh, mammals who can sing, waterfalls that can fall both ways, and 126 different shops that all reckon they sell the world's best pie. There are walls that can tell stories, cities that start where the waves end, and there's a lot of nothing, which is actually really something. You've got rivers that can wash your worries away, bush that knows how to bounce back. I heard about places where you can fly, kayak or wade to lunch and get served a delicious beverage by a guy called Jeff. I mean, I don't know if that's his actual name, but gee, that sounds like a pretty incredible day. This is a place that took a look at the rulebook and said, nah, here's a platypus. You know the most incredible thing of all? A holiday here this year is exactly what this place and all of us needs. So get out there for Australia.